This is the Abbotsford Convent, an extraordinary place in Melbourne that has been transformed into a space for the arts, culture and learning. Situated on the banks of the Yarra River, nearby was an important meeting place for the Wurundjeri people, the first people of this land. Standing in a place steeped with such history of community, one can't help but imagine what these walls and this land have seen and heard. This is an inside look at something the convent walls recently watched over. A kind of mash-up experiment, if you like, an unconference. It was called Gathering, attended by a community of social change makers.
Well, the inventor never knows the invention until long after it's created. I don't know what the role of gathering is. I expect that it will be it'll be deeper and more beautiful than I could possibly express it now. But it's something about forming community. It's something about forging those connections between people and finding new ways of doing things and changing the story, creating new stories about the world in the future.
I think one of the purposes of Gathering 11 and enabling social innovation is to demystify that term. We seem to have a good understanding of what social means, but innovation has become more of a buzzword than actually a practice. And so to see a community of practice evolve and become strengthened, because it's already begun and is already evolving, at Gathering 11, to better understand what innovation looks like in process, and in praxis, and informed praxis, would be a wonderful takeaway.
It's been absolutely great to hear about a whole range of different issues and people's kind of different life experiences and what they bring to different discussion.
You know, the problem with a normal conference is that usually, maybe 1 in 10 people are saying interesting stuff, right? And the real value is from the connections you get in between. Well, this happens to be a conference where everything is in between. So it's very rich. Every conversation you have is actually interesting.
This format is so interactive and there's so many interesting people and conversations that it feels kind of like a distraction to get up in front of a group and talk to them as opposed to talking with them.
It's amazing. I don't actually remember, I speak at a lot of conferences and I don't actually remember an event like this. I think it's very special, and the fact that people have come from all over the world to actually be here, I think that's quite significant as well.
In a lot of those different methods of presentation that you don't get at typical conferences, and that's where the creativity opens up. So certainly it can be a little bit nerve-wracking for someone who hasn't been involved in that process before, but just jump in. I think this is going to be even better as it grows on. It'll certainly, in my opinion, build a reputation around this kind of conferencing, and this is the future. This kind of conferencing, I think, is the way that things are going to head.
What I've really enjoyed about this day is that it's not just a thing, a function that I'm doing. For me, it's alive. Excuse my French, shit's happening.
We've co-created this really interesting and amazing program, and it's kind of a combination of a few different styles or approaches, including World Cafe and open space technology, and even similarities to the Presencing in Theory U approach. And instead of having sessions where people would stand and talk at people the whole time, and so you're just a passive participant, the longest that anybody's going to be sitting for is basically 25 minutes. And so what we've set up is for the featured presenters who will be speaking, they do 5-minute lightning talks, and the 5-minute lightning talks are inspired by Pecha Kucha and also Ignite talks. And so the idea is that they're really focused, simple expressions of people's passion and ideas. And so they're going to be the little catalysts and things that go off into the open space sessions. So they're participant-led sessions. So there's 10 rooms set up for each of those. And so those speakers that do the lightning talks, plus anybody else that's here for the weekend, can actually get together a bunch of people and say, look, this is what I'd really like to talk about and explore, and let's have a conversation about it.
Well, I first met David over Twitter, and there was a whole group of us that started following each other, and I think formed a tribe of resonance, and we would just read each other's tweets and resonate and retweet, and all of a sudden a lot of people who are here today I didn't meet until I got here, but we all knew each other from Twitter and just resonating and really connecting with what each other was doing.
So I think it's really important to have events where people meet and serendipity can happen, right? I mean, if we're tend to be homogenous groups, then we don't become as innovative. We need to have people from different backgrounds with different experiences.
My role is as an instigator, but everybody has roles in the delivery and the implementation.
It's thinking and doing, so rather than just giving out these airy-fairy theoretical this is what we think is going to happen, or from research this is what it's showing. It's a gathering of people who are practitioner in their own world, who comes together and say, this is our stories, this is what we've learned, and this is what we envision from what we've learned and what we've done.
Share experiences, meet new people. I don't, I guess, know a lot in this whole field of social entrepreneurship and innovation, but I sort of do a few projects that I guess glance at. So I guess I want to learn a little bit more and meet some of the people and, you know, have a good time.
Bring your heart and soul, and you will find you'll connect with everyone, because it's everyone. It's about everyone being real. It's about sort of putting yourself out there, showing what you love, showing your vulnerability, and just connecting with other humans. And from that, magic happens.
Mm-hmm.